What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top-rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome, and thanks for tuning in to On the Scene. This is Tom Hickey from 2020 Media, and you are, as I said, listening to NBT Bank's On the Scene. Special thanks to NBT Bank for being our sponsor of On the Scene. We are up to about 16, almost 24 podcasts for your enjoyment, and we reach, without all of our own individual exposure, 250,000 or about 250,000 people who are reading WeHa.com, The Jewish Ledger, and West Hartford Magazine. And this is live 24/7, 365, however you enjoy or get your podcasts. It is available. So thank you for tuning in. Again, one more mention, one more shout out to NBT Bank, our presenting sponsor. Without any further ado, I would love to introduce Bob Carr, who helps me run these podcasts and keep them flowing easily and smoothly by asking great questions. So hello, Bob. How are you?
Hi, Tom. Good to talk to you again.
Great. Good talk.
All right. So just to mention who Tom is, Tom Hickey, along with myself, Kosher McCarty, and Ronnie Newton, is a founder and partner in WeHa.com. Tom brings to West Hartford 2020 Media, 2023, his company 2020 Media brings to West Hartford the West Hartford Magazine, Connecticut Jewish Ledger, Best of West Hartford, 10th anniversary is coming up this year, plus numerous fun events throughout the year. Our podcast is assembled and posted by the Modern Observer Group. So I want to thank our guests today, who are Becky Sears and Andre Rochester. And today we're going to be just chatting about the arts. So I know the specific event that's coming up in West Hartford on April 25th. Before we get there, I read, Andre, I looked at your bio and looked at your artwork. And I have just how did you get involved as a painter, as an artist, as a photographer, all kind of cool stuff that you're doing?
Well, first off, thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor to be here. I'm glad I'm having this wonderful conversation about art with you. So as far as my background, I've been artist since I was a kid. I got my first sketchbook when I was 7, and I've been creating ever since. So I'll be 40 this year, so that's a lot of years of art experience. But I started taking it seriously in like high school, and I got exposed to working with professional artists and understanding what goes into that, and eventually went to school for it. And so that's where I got my start. And for the past 17 years, I've been a professional artist, and some of that has also included curation and advocacy for artists, as well as doing some teaching.
I saw there on that site, and it was interesting that you look at the financial aspects of art, which is unusual, right? I mean, I think many people think of artists as you have to starve to be good at it. Hopefully you're not starving, and you appear to be good at it. So,
yeah. Well, thank you. You shouldn't have to starve. Just one point that I think needs to be expressed over and over again until folks are tired of hearing it. The starving artist story should be a fairy tale in this day and age. Nobody should have to starve in order to be a good artist. It actually is the opposite. If you're a good artist, you will not starve. And if you're a good business person and an artist, you will thrive.
Wow.
That's good to hear. Excellent.
So, Andre, if you don't mind me asking, do a lot of artists take business classes as well, or I don't know if they used to.
That's actually something that is a gap within the arts community in plenty of places. It's not just unique to here in Connecticut. Unfortunately, a lot of art schools don't give you like business classes or classes that are specific to the art industry. So what you learn in art school for the most part is how to be a better artist. You focus on your craft. You focus on developing developing your skill set even further. You're already talented when you get there. The idea is that you'll be even more talented, more refined when you leave. But that leaves the obstacle of having to learn how to do business. And what I would advise any artist going to art school, honestly, any artist who has left art school and is trying to do this full time and working as a professional, go to a community college and take some business classes, because it's going to give you a competitive edge. It will actually help you with protecting yourself, so you don't find yourself being taken advantage of. It also it'll ensure that you know the things that you need to know in order to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So you mentioned curation. I don't want to jump in here. I'm like, it was interesting to read about getting your bio about the UConn House Center. But Becky, you're here because you're having a show that's being curated, I guess, by Andre. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's really kind of important to the mission of the West Hartford Senior Centers to create a space where we can connect the community to special people like Andre, and to really important organizations that are working hard in West Hartford, some of the best organizations you've never heard of. In this case, I was working with the Bishop's Corner Neighborhood Association, which is a great association in the neighborhood of Bishop's Corner, and they work really hard at beautification and bringing Bishop's Corner, kind of to the front and center in West Hartford, trying to get the word out about all the great things that happen in our neighborhood. And one of the members of the Bishop's Corner Neighborhood Association, Signe Rogalski, she's an artist herself. She's a retired teacher in town, and she's a member of the association. And she and I got talking about kind of what matters to us. And it's really important for me to give the seniors in West Hartford an opportunity to be connected to really great artists, really great stories, really great people, authors, performers, because there's so much that feeds the soul through that, through that space. And when you're a senior and getting older, sometimes it can be an isolating experience. And so, as Sig and I were talking back to Bishop's Corner, as we were kind of talking about, the things that we're passionate about, it was really important to me to connect all really members of the community, but especially the seniors, to spaces and places where they could connect with passion and connect with other people. And Signe was really passionate about Bishop's Corner and about art in general. And so we thought, hey, why don't we use the senior center as a space where we can bring these great people in, open it up to the community. The events will be free, and just kind of flowed from there. And we've featured authors up to this point, and poets. And so now Andre is coming, and I'm really excited. And Andre, I know you have a story about knowing Signe, but yeah, that's how it came about.
Yeah. And you said it, Becky, and not sort of matter of fact, but space and place is really what's key. Because you can have a great idea, but if you don't have any place to have it, or it's cost prohibitive, to have it there, or all of a sudden you have to charge and maybe it becomes, astronomical for someone to try to, check out, Andre's work or, whatever it is, that's key. That's what's so important. I think that's what not only the Bishop's Corner Neighborhood Association, but the entire greater, West Hartford community who's listening, to this podcast should really be thankful, to you and to the Senior Center, for opening up your doors and making this possible.
Well, we're very grateful to have all the wonderful community partners that we do. What you do, Tom, is really important to the town. Thank you for having us on today and showcasing this. I mean, that means a lot, and it's a powerful message. There's always something so wonderful happening in the town of West Hartford. There's always something exciting going on. All of these people working so hard behind the scenes. It's really impressive.
So what do we do with Andre next? Do we ask him actually how he met Sig, or is that going to take like 3 hours?
No, it's actually a short story, believe it or not. So, I met Signe when I was working at a art supply store, a very well-known art supply store, Jerry's Artorama.
Oh, sure.
And I worked there for almost 3 years. And so Signe was a customer there. and we just ended up getting connected through there. And she was curating art shows at a local wine shop called West Side Wines. It's not around anymore, but at the time she was doing an art show there like every month or something like that. And I participated in 2 of those art shows. And so that's how I got to know Signe. And then we just kind of fell out of touch for a while. And, fast forward, what I think may be like 14 years later, she reached out to me and asked me to do this event. So I'm glad that she remembered me.
You're right. We can't count those years, because I think the first time I met Sig was probably about the same 15, 20 years ago. Wow. And it took this long, but then again, no one knew what a podcast was 15 years ago. Probably, right. So all in due time. That's it. As long as we all get together, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
So I just said, since I'm not a West Hartford guy like Tom is, where is the West Hartford Senior Center?
Oh, good point.
So West Hartford Senior Centers actually has 2 locations. We have a branch in Elmwood, the Elmwood center of town, and then where this event is going to take place is at our Bishop's Corner location, which is 15 Starkle Road. We share a building with the Bishop's Corner Library. It's a great little space right behind Big Y on Starkle Road. So that's where the event will be on Thursday, April 25th from 6 to 8 p.m.
Very good.
Yeah, that's how I always describe it, Becky. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I always say Big Y. It's just like, everyone seems to know where that is. That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about Andre coming. Andre, you're also curator at UConn, and that has to be an exciting story. How did that happen?
So UConn Health Center, I wasn't even looking for a job at the time. And a friend of mine, she kept encouraging me to apply for this opening at UConn Health Center, and I didn't even know that they had curators in hospitals. Yeah. So I looked at the job posting, I thought about it for a while. Then she kept coming back to me. She said, "I think you should do this. This would be a good fit for you." So I gave in and I applied. I got interviewed, and then I must have said something right. And I've been their curator for a year and 4 months now. And it has been such an amazing experience. I'm glad that I applied and got the job because it's expanding my curatorial abilities, being that it's a hospital and we do follow certain standards, but also it's a way for me to educate people, because a lot of people didn't know that this collection existed. It's about almost 3,000 pieces of artwork, and it ranges from people who do it as a hobby to like world-renowned artists who have shifted the arts industry. Like there's even a Saul LeWitt in the collection. It's not like the wall drawings that people are used to, but it's still a Saul LeWitt nonetheless. And there's a few other big names in our collection. And like I said, there's people who do it as a hobby. There's people who are just professionals. There's professors. There's UConn faculty and employees there that are artists. It's a little bit of everybody in this collection. I think that's what makes it unique. So I have an opportunity to help kind of shift the atmosphere with artwork a little bit there, in how it's placed and where people see it, how they interact with it. And there's also a gallery space there.
And how this will sound like a crazy question, but how do you view it? I mean, is it through? I've never seen it, so is it throughout the entire?
It's throughout all of the UConn Health facilities. Yeah, all of the UConn Health facilities have a piece of the collection in it. Wow. The majority of it, however, is in the main building in Farmington at the top of the hill. Okay. But it's all over the place. It's in offices, it's in conference rooms, it's in the hallways, it's in some of the patient care areas. Wow. There really isn't unless it's like a clean room where they're performing surgery or something like that, is literally all over the place.
I don't want to spend too much time talking on this, but it was interesting because unfortunately my wife ended up having to have emergency surgery when we were away on vacation once, and we went to the hospital while I was waiting for her while she was in surgery. Everything went fine, but as I was waiting for her, I I don't know, I think it was 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, whatever it was, while I had to wait. And I didn't know what I was going to do. And the person who was at the hospital said, "Oh, why don't you look at our art collection? We just hired somebody." This was in Massachusetts, but I was just like, I'm telling you, I could have spent 8 hours, looking, being there, but it was free. It kept me not only busy, occupied, probably less stressed, than I, than I would have been.
And that's the purpose of it.
Is it? I was just
that right there.
Yeah. Interesting. It was really great. It was a wonderful way, to do. And then similar to what you were saying, Andre, I had absolutely no idea, that was even an option. That there's, if they didn't tell me to, hand me the brochure or the pamphlet and tell me to look at it, to check it out, I wouldn't have known. So it was interesting.
Right.
Beautiful. Let's talk a little bit, Becky. How do you want to talk about the event now? What's the best segue for that? We want to make sure we get people to come out to Bishop's Corner. Is that I'm sorry, I should have looked it up. Is that a Saturday?
So it's a Thursday.
Thursday
Evening. Yep, it's a Thursday evening. So it begins at 6:00. So our doors will open about 5:30. We are going to have some artists on site displaying some of their work in the corners of the main room at Bishop's Corner. So you can come, get a little something to nosh on, a little something to drink, mix and mingle. We'll introduce you to some local artists that are showing their work. And it's, again, a space to meet people, connect, and then we'll hear from Andre during the event and have an opportunity to learn more about his story and have a discussion around how the importance of art and the impact that it can have on a community. And then afterwards, we'll again network and nosh, and we'll go until about 8 p.m. So people are free to walk in if they haven't pre-registered. If they want to pre-register, that's helpful to me, so I know how many seats to set out. So, so I would appreciate it if you're so inclined, and we would just have people call Bishop's Corner at 860-561-7583. Again, 860-561-7583, and we will place their name on the list.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
So I had a question for Andre. Right about it's 224 Echo Space. What's that? What's that about?
So the 224, well, it's really the 224 Eco Space.
Okay.
Is the actual pronunciation of it. 224 Eco Space at 224 Farmington Avenue in Hartford is a hub for artists and entrepreneurs to thrive. It's a 30,000 square foot facility. We have 4 dance studios. We have a co-working space. There are offices that people can rent. There's even a 5,000 square foot event space that I curate art shows in. I also curate the hallway. And we host a fellowship called the Artists of Color Accelerate Fellowship, in which we pair 10 artists of color with 10 arts organizations from Greater Hartford. And we get them to collaborate. So this is a way to have doors opened. It's a way to build working relationships. And oh, by the way, we talked about business classes, right? The fellows get business training. So half of the program is business training, and then the rest of the program, the second half, is their opportunity to apply that training and also go through business coaching. And we even provide coaching for the organizations that work with us. That's one of the perks to being a partner with us. We give them some general business coaching. We work with an organization called the Institute for Equity Centered Coaching, which is also based in Hartford, Connecticut. And we try to close gaps in understanding, close gaps in representation and programming. I am also a past participant of this program. I was a part of the inaugural cohort. And to this day, I have a great working relationship with the organization I was paired with. It's Amistad Center and Wadsworth Athenaeum. So mine was kind of like a dual fellowship, because you can't avoid one without, So I got lucky. I got very lucky. And so I do some collaboration with Wadsworth Athenaeum because of that. And I have a good relationship with Amistad Center. But they're not the only organizations that have a big name that are part of this. We've partnered with the Bushnell, we partnered with Theater Works this year, Hillstead Museum, New Britain Museum of American Art, and a number of other organizations have graciously opened their doors to us and our fellows, and we have some great projects happening.
Very good.
Beautiful. And if you don't mind, I'm going to use this as a segue, Andrew, just as you made me think of it. The cover story for the April issue, so the issue that just came out, actually, it's probably not out yet, but early April, the cover story of West Hartford Magazine is on the New Britain Museum of Art.
Wow.
And basically how it was sort of a, instrumental, formations sort of spearheaded by the Chase family, the whole bit, but then, turning into something worth visiting, today. And the cover, I just saw the cover. It's drop dead beautiful, but it's local art, and it's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, how great it looks. So thanks. I won't steal any more thunder about the spring issue.
The Brit is a wonderful
Check it out online. Check it out. All right, Becky, how can we make sure we get people out to the event again on Thursday, April 25th? And that's unless someone else has something else to say, that's how we'll get people to come.
Excellent. Well, they can visit our website if they want to check out. If they want a link, we'll post that out on our website, so they can go to westhartfordct.gov. They can call us at Bishop's Corner Senior Center or Elmwood Senior Center, either one, at 860-561-7583. We'll be happy to answer any questions that they have.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so no excuse. We'll see everybody on Thursday, April 25th. You said about 5:30 to 8 o'clock.
Doors will open at 5:30. Yeah, 15 Starkville Road in West Hartford. Call, check us out. Walk in. We'll be happy to receive you.
And I think everybody has GPS, but if they don't, it's behind Big Y. So
right. Excellent.
That's your landmark, Big Y.
You see the building.
It's going to be a great conversation. It's going to be a great discussion. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to some engagement from the audience. So please show up in big numbers, because we're going to have a conversation like we're sitting in my living room.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Just like this, right, Andre? Just like this.
Yeah, and I'll put in a plug for Andre too. And if you're interested in seeing his gorgeous artwork, it's just breathtaking. You can visit www.andrerochester.com, ANDREROCHESTER.com. Check out his beautiful work.
Thank you for the plug. And since we're plugging, there's a show right now at Wadsworth Athenaeum called Styling Identities, Hair's Tangled Histories. I have a painting on display in that exhibit, among other local artists. I'm one of 4 contemporaries that I know of that are in the show. And it has been a wonderful process working with the Wadsworth through organizing this exhibit. I've been a part of the advisory committee for 2 years. This exhibit is about 3 or 4 years in the making. And so it's here. It involves the community. So please, the community must come and check it out and see this amazing artwork that they've curated, and definitely take a picture next to my painting. You can't miss it.
And then we'll have a whole social media run, right, Andre? There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
Sounds great. And post it. Great. Well, thank you all very much, Andre, Becky, Bob, as usual. Thanks for joining us, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in, and most importantly, once again, to our presenting sponsor, NBT Bank, because without them, On the Scene would not be possible. And there certainly is an awful lot, as we just learned, of arts opportunities that are on the scene every day that people can be enjoying. So please take advantage. Talk to you next time.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.